How's it going, guys? So today we're going to be reviewing the core cards for Magic. And don't forget that currently right now we're running a mega giveaway. You need to answer every question in the description of the core card review videos to be able to participate, and depending on how many answers you get, you have more or less chances of winning. So let's jump right in onto the first card, which is Seeing Stone, with 4C1 and draw a card. This card's okay. It's not good, it's not bad. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It allows you to 4C1 and basically see if you want that card or not. Then if you want that card, then you know what you're gonna draw. If you don't want that card, then you're gonna be drawing blindly afterwards. I would argue that this card would be much better if it was for C2 and then draw a card. Other than that, still 3 stars. Then we have Assistant Alchemist, where you select a card that costs no more than total unlock mana chance, reduce its cost by 1. So this is basically the same as Warp Engineer, but at 1 mana. It's okay. It's not a great card to be played. If you want to do some combo decks and things like that, it's good. Other than that, I'm gonna give it 3 stars because it's a fairly okay card. Then we have Street Conjurer, another 3-star card. It's a good stat line, 1/1/3. It has spell boost 1. You can throw some people off the hook if they're not expecting. If they're expecting things like Crystal Rain doing 2 damage and things like that, and then you combo with Street Conjurer, then yes. But other than that, it's an okay card, so it's 3 stars. Then we have Spellbinder Seer with Dwarf Seer, another 3-star card. I don't think this card is that good for its mana stats. If it was for C1 at the end of each turn, then yes, but since it's not, I'm gonna put it in the 3-star category. Then after this we have Metamorphosis, where it transforms a friendly creature into a random creature with the same mana cost. This is kind of like meme and you're totally RNG, so I'm gonna put this in the 1-star card. If it was transform an enemy creature into a random creature with the same mana cost, then it would be good, because even though it would be a bad removal, it would kind of work with cards that have specific effects or they need for certain combos. This would disrupt that. But since it's a friendly creature, I'm just gonna put this in the 1-star. Even though you could argue that you could use this with really high mana creatures and low stats, where you get a huge benefit firstly, and then you play this card on top of it to transform it into an actually good card, but it's still RNG, so it's bad. I don't like these cards that are heavily reliant on RNG. Then we have Sip of Elixir, the first 4-star card we have here, where it gives a friendly creature unlock a mana lock and draw a card. This is super good. Mana ramping's one of the themes from Magic, and you should always be mana ramping to be able to have more mana than your opponent. So 4 stars. Then we have Starch Our Bolt, another 4-star card. It's a really good type of removal spell. For 2 mana you deal 4 damage. It's really good, considering that Worm Breath costs 4 mana and deals 5 damage. So just 1 extra damage for 2 extra mana. So this is one of the best cards out there for Magic, 4 stars. Then we have Tracking Bolt, another 4-star card, because it gives you the flexibility to do a really small board clear, or to deal 3 damage to a specific creature. Typically Magic runs with Blast Wave, so if you put Tracking Bolt with Blast Wave together, you're dealing 2 damage to the 2 highest health creatures, and then 1 damage to everything else. So this card is really good, 4 stars. Then we have Time Bump. If your god's protected, this gains +1 strength and protected. Otherwise it gives protected to your god. It's fairly good. You could combo it with other cards, but I'm still gonna put this in the 3-star category because it's not great, but it's not bad either. So 3 stars. Then we have Staff of Shards, where it deals 1 damage to your opponent's god and a creature. And this basically is really good because it allows you to ping I call ping doing chip damage or 1 damage to a specific creature every turn. This allows you to ping a specific creature every turn, so I'm gonna put this in the 4-star category because it gives you a lot of flexibility, it allows you to target specific creatures. This is a really good card overall. And then after that we have another 4-star, which is the Morgana's Grimoire. This is kind of like the better version of Merlin, even though Merlin is really good. The only problem is that it has to survive on the board, and it's highly unlikely that it survives more than 1 turn. While Morgana's Grimoire guarantees you 3 reductions in terms of spell cost. And if you have more than 2 spells in your hand, you're getting 2 mana every turn. You're getting 6 mana, and this only costs 2 mana. So this is absolutely bonkers in terms of the value that you get. This is 4 stars. It's not 5 stars because it's not game-breaking, a game-winning card, but it's a really good card to have. So upper levels of 4 stars. Then we have Corrales. Corrales Rune Moth at the end of your turn, add a random rune. The only issue, it has backline, but the only issue is it's 1 health, which means that it's gonna be susceptible to anything that deals under 2 damage or 1 damage to everything. It's super easy to deal with it. I would only put this to be worth it if it had 3 health or more. Since it doesn't have it, I'm gonna put it in the 3 stars. It's still a good card because it gives you flexibility, it gives you runes for free, so it's fairly good, but it's not great. Then we have on his spell sword. After you play a card, this creature gets +1 strength, and the creature with the lowest health gains ward. This card's absolutely bonkers. It's 4 stars for sure. Upper ends of 4 stars. I've seen this card being played, and if you see the opponent playing this card, you have to deal with it right away because it gets out of hand super quickly. And it has ward, so it's fairly hard to deal with it, and it can give ward to other creatures, so it's really good. 4 stars. Then we have Mana Tote, which is another 4-star card. For 3 mana, 3/1. It has an afterlife, unlock and unlock. It's a fairly good stat line. It's not great. You're foregoing two stats, so 2 health, to be able to get a really good effect. But mana ramping in this game is much more powerful than other games, where if you're able to get to the 8 mana before if you get to 8 mana and your opponent is at 7 mana, the things that he's gonna have available to him to deal with your super powerful creatures that cost 8 mana are gonna be very limited. So this card is really good, 4 stars. Then we have prescient Spellbinder, where you can pick one, so it gives you flexibility. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck. I would argue that this card is okay if you want to know what cards you're going to be drawing on your opponent. I would much rather play this and pick my opponent's cards to know which cards he's going to draw. But I'm still going to put this in the 3 stars because it's not that great in terms of possibilities. Then we have Warm Breath, which is another 3 stars compared to Starch Our Bolt. This is much weaker. It only deals 5 damage. I would only make this be worth it if it dealt like 6 damage, for example. But since it only deals 5, I'm gonna put this at 3 stars. It's still interesting to have on some types of decks to be able to do with certain things, but other than that, 3 stars. Then we have Soothsayer for C3 and draw cards. So this is a targeted draw. The stats line is not terrible for what you get. Basically, foreseeing allows you to see the next cards in your deck, and being able to draw a card means that you can pick which cards of that top card go to the back, and you pick one of the 3 you want to draw. So you could argue that you could substitute this text for look at the top 3 cards of your deck and pick one to draw. So this is fairly good, but I'm still gonna put it in the 3 stars because your advantage, you don't gain that much of an advantage. I would argue that you need to draw at least 2 cards in order for this to be viable. So 3 stars. Then we have Rune Viper Tincture, another 3-star card. It draws you 3 cards for 5 mana, which is fairly okay. If you're running out of cards, this is really good, but typically you wouldn't waste a deck slot just to run Rune Viper Tincture. So 3 stars. Then we have Crystal Rain. This is one of the weaker board clears that Magic has. Deal 2 damage to each enemy creature for C1. I'm gonna put this in the 3-star category, but this combined with things like Street Conjurer that give spell boost, then it can become super powerful. But other than that, you're spending a lot of mana just for a little bit of upside of what you're doing. Then Ratify transforms a creature into a rat. That's a 4 stars for sure, because it's a targeted removal for 5 mana. Really good. Other than that, what can I say? Then we have Mana Thirst Golem. After you cast a spell, this creature gains +1/+1. I'm gonna put this card in the 3-star, but it can become much more powerful the next expansions, because if a full or a spell heavy type of deck for Magic comes to fruition, then this card is gonna be super good. The only problem is that typically when you play this, the opponent's gonna deal with it right away and get rid of it, because this can get out of hand super quickly. Then we have Astric Implosion, deal 5 damage to a creature and 3 damage to all others. So this is a board clear, even though it deals 3 damage to every creature, including the friendly creatures. I'm gonna put this in the 4-star category, lower in the 4-star, but still 4 stars. And together with that, the next card we have is Inferno, which is the definitely really good board clear. For 7 mana, you deal 5 damage to each enemy creature, so 4 stars again, upper end of 4 stars, but it's a really good board clear. And then we have the first 5-star card for Magic core set, which is Frey, Archmage of Saline. Even though it's 8 mana and the stat line's terrible, this can be like, you foresee 2, so you see which cards, next 2 cards you're going to be drawing, and if you want to reduce their cost. And you can always pick one of them to go back, or just draw those 2, or send the 2 of them to the back of the deck and then to draw the next 2. But the thing is, you can be drawing a really powerful cards that cost like 6 mana, 7 mana, 8 mana, and reduce their cost to 2, and that's absolutely bonkers, because the type of combos that you can do are incredible. Like if you draw, for example, a Demogorgon for 2 mana, that's like that's like filthy types of value. If you draw an Avatar of Magic for 2 mana, you can just win on that turn, because you play the Avatar of Magic, play a bunch of spells, you just win. And you don't even have to wait for a turn. So if you get like those 8 and 9 mana creatures from this, then this card's absolutely incredible. So 5 stars for sure. And then we have Chum Column, which allows you to draw 4 cards. It's an 8 mana 8/8. It's a really big creature on the board. It draws you 4 cards, but typically every time I run this in a deck, what tends to happen with Magic is that you're gonna have a lot of cards in your hand, because your spells are really powerful and you're only playing 1 or 2 spells per turn. So typically drawing 4 cards, you're not gonna be drawing the 4 cards, or you're gonna be overdrawing those cards now. You're not going to be getting the full benefit, so I'm still going to put this in the 3-star category. It's not 4 stars, because I would argue that it would be much better to be like, for example, 6/6, 6 mana 6/6 that draws 3 cards, then super good, or 7 mana 7/7 that draws 3 cards, for example. And then finally we have Leyhorde Hatchling, which at the start of your turn set this creature mana cost to 10 mana. 10 minus the number of cards in your hand, and deal 6 damage. So if you have a full hand, this is a super cheap spell, because you have 10 cards in your hand. This is gonna cost 1. It's basically a 1 mana or 2 mana. Anything below 3 mana is really good, because you're putting a 2/1 on the board and you're dealing 6 damage to anything you choose. So this card is definitely a 4 stars, and I've been surprised by a lot of times by people running this on Magic control decks. And that's it, guys, for today's card review for the Magic cards of the core set. Make sure you answer the question in the description down below, and smash that like button down here, please. And don't forget that we're having a mega giveaway at the end of the core card reviews, so make sure you answer every card review video correctly. to gain the most amount of chances to win. Other than that, guys, see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye bye.